Well, that's what acting is about, especially, the greatest actors. They just escape their own reality. But go and actually take yourself and put yourself in that state of mind, I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like Heath Ledger did it for the Batman movie, and it was, like, incredible.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And it's funny, too, because if for me, if I really do it fully, when the filming is over with that character, I kind of miss the character. I'm like, well, I don't want to let it go.
Right.
So it's kind of like you form this bond with that person who you were for a moment, and like, oh my gosh, well, goodbye.
Yeah. Well, you hang up the suit. Either that or your hubby's going to yell at you. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it would depend what kind of character you were.
Yeah, well, watch out.
It's like, uh-oh.
That's funny. Now, you did some sci-fi stuff with on the Sci-Fi Channel. Who Wants to Be a Superhero? You played what was the role that you played?
I played Easteden.
Easteden. Now, do you see yourself doing more of that type of work, or do you want to do more dramatic stuff? I know you said you were open, but do you see yourself? Would you see yourself better in a dramatic role so you can express, or actually showcase your acting skills?
Well, yes and no. I mean, most likely people will never win any kind of acting awards for roles like these things, because it's so out there. So it was so much fun, by the way, to do that shoot. It was so much fun because I got to be so evil and mean. Because you never get to do that in real life. Or I never do it in real life. So it was kind of fun. It was like, whoa, I can just say whatever I want, and people are okay with it. But yes, I would love to do more sci-fi stuff, and I got to work with Stan Lee, so that was pretty amazing.
That must be
an amazing man.
I mean, Stan Lee, when it comes to Marvel, he is the man. He's the guy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I was very fortunate to get to spend some time with him on that set.
Oh, that's awesome. Now we're gonna go. We're going to talk about something that's outside of your acting and modeling career. A lot of our listeners may not be aware of this, but you are also a humanitarian. Can you tell us more about the organization or organizations that you work with and what you do for them?
Sure. Actually, for a couple of months, I, in a way, left acting and modeling, and I went to Bratislava, Slovakia, a few years ago or quite a few years ago now, when they had just split from or they were Czechoslovakia and now they were Czech and Slovakia. So they had no laws in the country, and they were getting all these refugees coming into their country, and there were no rules whether they could stay or whether they had to leave. So I went to Bratislava, which is the capital of Slovakia, and I worked with United Nations Human Commissioner for Refugees, and helped with the situation there. I did even a legal research study for the European laws on asylum, and they passed their laws partially according to my study. So that was pretty great feeling to have impacted a country's, beginning stages of a country. So that was pretty fantastic.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
One person, one voice to make change. And I mean,
yes.
That's something just going back to, civil rights, Martin Luther King, when he, one man that created change that was still changing, and it's good that you do something like that. I think that's amazing. And I commend you for that. I applaud you on that one. That's good. Now we're gonna go from humanitarian, event to your current event. You're currently, or you did work on 2 films. And
yes.
Right now, they're scheduled to be released this year in 2009, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's touch on them one by one, because I want to give you the opportunity to talk about them and really, let us know what's going on. The first one is Sideways. Now, what type of film is it, and what's your role in the film?
Well, Sideways is a remake of the original Sideways that many people probably saw in America. That was a very popular film. And this Sideways is a Japanese version of the original Sideways. So they have the 4 main characters are Japanese characters, and my character is an American character who works at a winery in Napa Valley. And we shot it in Napa Valley area with these Japanese actors. Actually, one of the actors is Rinko Kikuchi, who was nominated for an Oscar from Babel.
Okay.
Yeah, and this movie's opening in Tokyo in October.
You should have a warm reception for that one.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, exactly. I actually haven't been to Tokyo in a couple of years, so I think it would be fun to go there again.
I think they're going to welcome you with open arms.
Thank you. I hope so. I'm sure they will.
I'm sure they will. Now, Sideways, when it hits Japan, when it hits Tokyo, are they going to have a translation at some point? Do you think?
I'm not sure. The film, when we filmed it, the Japanese characters all spoke Japanese, and then when they were interacting with American characters, we all spoke English. So, the Japanese actors got to do it in 2 languages, and then the rest of us, we did it only in English. I'm thinking that, for the Japanese audience, it might be dubbed all in Japanese, but I'm not very sure of that yet. But hopefully it will also come out in America. That would be fun.
Yeah, I think they may do that just because of people involved and you get mass distribution when it's DVD. I think that'll be awesome.
Yes, for sure.
Now that sounds like a great movie, and I saw the original Sideways here in the U.S. and it was pretty funny.
Yes.
But now you're working on you worked on a second movie. It's called The House of Branching Love. Again, I'm going to ask you the same questions. What type of film is this, and what's your role in the film?
Well, this film is opening in Finland, actually in a couple of weeks, August 21st, and it's directed by Mika Kaurismäki, who is a very, very famous Finnish director. And this movie, actually, it's funny, because my character, I play a character called Nina, who's one of the leading characters, and she's a college student slash prostitute who makes her money to study in college by selling herself. And when I first imagined myself in the role, I thought that this movie is pretty dramatic and pretty, dark for my character in a way. But it is a comedy, and I've heard from the preview audiences, that the test audiences, that it has been hilarious. So I haven't seen the film myself yet, but I will next week. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I guess it is a comedy.
And you'll be going home.
Yes, I'll be going home for a couple of weeks for a press tour and a premiere. So that'll be really exciting.
That's great. You get to go to your parents. Aha, I told you.
I know, exactly. Again.
Again. Well, I'm sure by this time they believe in you. Which is a good thing. I'm sure they believed in you even before you embarked on your modeling career. They're probably just worried about you getting out there early, like most parents do. But again, you're branching out. Even today, you're still growing as an actress, an actor, and future's ahead of you. I'm going to ask you a tough question. And usually for most people, this is a tough question. But who has been your favorite actor to date to work alongside of?
Wow.
I stumped you.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's so many great actors and so wonderful people. My gosh. Who has been my favorite? I mean, like in this Finnish film, The House of Branching Love, one of the, actually, my co-star, or the leading man in the movie, he is such a sweetheart. I don't think I've ever met a person with such a big heart. And, just as a person, because he's the way he is, he's one of my favorite people to work with. And his name is Hanna-Pekka Björkman. Wow. Then, of course, it's always wonderful to work with actors when you're really in the scene and it's so real and true. And one of those actors was an American actor called Chris McKenna, who I shot a really intense scene with.